They say there are certain truths that can only be whispered, never shouted, never shared too freely. This is one of them. There is a practice, a ritual, that takes no more than 36 seconds of your time, but carries the potential to bend the course of your day, and with repetition, your entire life. It's not about magic, not about superstition. It's about energy, and what happens when the human heart syncs with the deeper rhythm of the universe. For generations, this 36-second mantra has remained in silence, passed quietly from teacher to student, from seeker to seeker, never written in public, never fully explained. Because once it's spoken with real intent, the world around you listens, not metaphorically, literally. The field that surrounds you, call it vibration, spirit, or pure consciousness, begins to shift, recalibrated by your focused frequency. But there's a reason you're told not to speak of it. Not yet. Not until you've felt it, because the mind loves to debate, to doubt, to interrupt what it doesn't understand. This practice must bypass the noise. It has to root itself in silence first, bloom quietly in the stillness of your own experience. Then, and only then, it reveals itself through signs, small shifts, inner calm, unexpected ease, gentle waves of alignment. These changes are quiet, but profound. They don't shout, they whisper. And in those whispers, life starts to rearrange itself around the new frequency you're holding, whether you notice it instantly or not. This isn't about repeating words you don't believe. It's about choosing, for once, to step outside the loops of overthinking, to stand still, breathe. Speak into the unseen, and trust it is heard. There is nothing to prove, nothing to analyze, just presence, and a few sacred seconds to remember the truth. What you feel, your energy doesn't lie. It doesn't pretend. It doesn't follow what you say. It follows what you feel. That's why this practice, these 36 seconds, can only begin to work when your inner world begins to sync with your outer intentions. The spoken words of the mantra are only half the mechanism. The real ignition happens when the heart and frequency match. When your emotions become the current that carries the message into the unseen. Every thought holds a frequency. Every emotion carries a vibration. And your body, mind, and spirit are constantly emitting a signal, like a tuning fork echoing into the field around you. When that signal is fractured, when you say one thing but feel another, the field reflects confusion. But when your desire, belief, and emotion align, something rare begins to occur. The field starts responding, quietly, immediately, and with elegance. This is why the mantra isn't a spell. It's not a chant to force the universe into obedience. It's a doorway, one you must open from the inside. And when you walk through it, everything changes. You begin to notice different things. People treat you differently. Events seem to move with a strange kind of harmony. That's not coincidence, that's coherence. The outer world matching the inner signal you finally aligned. It's not something you can fake. The universe is highly sensitive to the frequency of truth. It doesn't respond to empty rituals, only to genuine resonance. That's why these 36 seconds, when practiced from the right space, become powerful. Not because they are long, but because they are clear, coherent, unshaken by doubt. That kind of clarity doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from softening, from being fully present in the moment. And if you're still here, listening with presence, it's probably not by accident. There are very few who make it this far. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing. It lets us keep this knowledge flowing freely day to day to those who are ready, like you, to walk through the doorway instead of just peeking through the keyhole. And now that the signal is beginning to rise, the real work is about to begin. We've been taught to believe that change takes time, that transformation is measured in weeks, months, or years. But time doesn't move in a straight line, not in the world of energy. It bends, it folds, it responds. What matters more than how long something takes is how deep your presence goes in the time you give it. That's why 36 seconds, and when fully felt, can stretch far beyond the clock. They become a portal. You've likely experienced this before, though you may not have noticed. A moment of deep emotion, a sudden insight, a breath that felt different, and everything shifted. Not because of the quantity of time, but because of the quality of attention. In energy work, focus is force. The more refined your attention, the more powerful the transmission. And in those 36 seconds, you're not just reciting words, you're activating alignment. We often waste hours in scattered thought, passive scrolling, anxious looping. But when 36 seconds are used with deliberate presence, they carry more weight than an entire day lived on autopilot. It's not the length of the mantra that gives it power. It's the purity behind it. It's the decision to mean it, to speak not just with your voice, but with your entire being. And this is where time becomes your ally, not your enemy. Once your energy is focused and clean, the universe doesn't need delays. Manifestation begins at the speed of belief. Shifts happen quickly because the field is always listening, always moving, always adjusting itself to match the signal you send. In the unseen, momentum builds quietly. Then, without warning, reality catches up. So don't underestimate what 36 seconds can do. When time bends, seconds become seeds. And when you plant them with awareness, with conviction, they grow. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now in ways you'll start to notice before this day even ends. This isn't something you rush into. The 36-second ritual doesn't ask for performance. It asks for presence. You don't need incense, candles, or a sacred space. But you do need something far rarer: stillness. A place where your thoughts slow down, where the world goes quiet, and where your energy isn't being pulled in every direction. That's where the words begin to work. Sit or lie down somewhere you won't be disturbed. Let your body settle into comfort. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose, then exhale softly through your mouth. Let your breath lead the way. Slower, deeper, quieter. You're not escaping the world. You're stepping inward into the real one, into the field that listens not with ears but with frequency. And now, when you feel centered, when the noise has faded, speak these words, not loudly, not mechanically, but with full attention. Feel every line as you say it. Let the sound rise from your heart, not just your throat. The mantra isn't meant to be repeated without feeling. It's meant to tune your energy like a sacred instrument. Ready? Here it is. I am filled with light and fully connected to the infinite power of the universe. I open myself to love and abundance, knowing that what I seek is already finding its way to me. I ask for divine guidance and protection as I move toward my highest dreams. I trust deeply that the universe is working in my favor, sending blessings at the perfect time. I release all fear and doubt from within, and I accept that I am worthy of all good things. Positive energy flows through me now, clearing all that no longer serves my spirit. I visualize my dreams as real, feel their joy in my heart, and give thanks as if it is already done. I am grateful, I am aligned, I am powerful, and so it is. Let those final words, "and so it is," seal the moment. Let them land deep like a key turning in a lock. Then, say nothing. Just feel. Allow the energy to ripple, move, integrate. Sometimes the silence that follows is more powerful than the mantra itself. Not all change arrives with fireworks. In fact, the most powerful shifts often begin quietly. So quietly that if you're not paying attention, you might miss them. After the mantra, you may not wake up to a completely different life, but something will feel different, lighter, as if the weight you didn't even realize you were carrying has started to dissolve. This isn't illusion. It's alignment taking root beneath the surface. You may find that people respond to you differently. Conversations unfold with more ease. Synchronicities begin to stack. The right words, the right faces, the right opportunities appearing without effort. These aren't random. They're energetic echoes of your new frequency. You've sent out a signal through those 36 seconds, and now reality is adjusting to receive it. Sometimes the shift is internal. A sudden sense of calm where there used to be urgency, a clarity that wasn't there before. You might feel more patient, more trusting, even if nothing external has changed, because your internal compass has reoriented. And once that happens, you stop chasing and start attracting. This is also the stage where the old begins to dissolve. Certain habits, thoughts, or even people may quietly fall away. Don't resist. That's not loss. That's space being made. Growth isn't always loud. Often it arrives as simplicity, as ease, as the quiet knowing that you are finally moving with the current, not against it. And if this is beginning to happen for you, even in the smallest ways, honor it. Stay close to this path. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We continue to share subtle, powerful tools that meet you exactly where you are and carry you just a bit further each time. You're not alone in this shift. You never were. And now that it's begun, all you need to do is keep listening. The greatest mistake is believing this is a one-time act. The mantra is not an event. It's an entry point. A doorway you step through again and again, each time more attuned, more receptive, more open. Like water wearing down stone, consistency creates power. One whisper becomes a current. One moment becomes momentum. The more you return to these 36 seconds, the more natural they become. Not as a task, but as a rhythm. You may no longer need to close your eyes or set the space, because the space begins to live within you. The words start to rise on their own, like a heartbeat. They move through your thoughts, shape your decisions, anchor your presence. That's when the ritual becomes real life. And that's the secret. The mantra was never just about asking. It was about remembering, reclaiming, reconnecting to a part of you that was always in harmony, but buried beneath noise. The world may not understand this path, and it doesn't need to, because this isn't about convincing others. It's about becoming undeniable in your own energy. With time, you'll notice the difference, not in what you force, but in what flows. You'll stop needing to control every detail because you'll feel aligned with something greater. The pressure fades, the chasing ends, and in its place, peace arrives, quietly, steadily, like it was always waiting for you to slow down enough to receive it. So keep going. Don't let the noise pull you back. This whisper is now yours. And in your stillness, in your presence, in your ritual, life begins to speak back, not in words, but in alignment. And when it does, you'll know this was never just 36 seconds. This was the beginning of everything.